Welcome back to Find Your Wise podcast. How are you doing, Yvonne, today?
I am doing really, really good. I'm getting super excited for the Christmas is 1 week away. This is insane.
Yes. We're almost at 2025, and there's so much going on in our lives with all these things that we're doing. Having this time to be able to share with you guys is fantastic. So, my name is Indira. I'm your co host, and today we're diving into topics that are going to be really meaningful for this period of the year.
Yes, yes. And I'm Yvonne, by the way, the other co-host. Today we are talking about one of our favorite things. I know it's near and dear to my heart. We're going to be talking about giving back, especially this time of the year, because it's the time of the year when everything feels a little bit magical and people start thinking a little bit more about how they can make a difference.
That is so true. There's something about this time of the year that makes it, like you say, magical compared with the rest of the year. And I think it's a lot of the fact that we're wanting to talk about for giving back to the community. It's something that we can do not just this time of the year, but this is a good start so we can continue doing that. And there's so many things that we can do. It could be volunteering, donating, or simply showing an act of kindness. And today we're also going to share some stories to and some actionable items that we could implement so we can make our life more transformative. Because this is something that caused an impact not just on others but also on ourselves.
Exactly. So, like she said, we're going to share some tips to make giving back more sustainable part of your life. So, it's something that you can do beyond the holiday season and make it a part of your everyday life throughout the whole year.
Yes. So why don't we start asking why giving back is so important, especially in the holidays? And I think that faith and tradition has a very important role on this because and the good thing is that when we have traditions that are really causing impact on our life and helping us emotional, it's so important to continue that tradition. Because when we are giving, like we just mentioned before, we disconnect from the things that our hectic life or all this busy schedule. And we come back to what really brings us meaning and what matters in life. So this is a good time and it's a good reminder for connection and gratitude. That's why it's so meaningful.
Yeah. I actually read an amazing quote the other day, and I'm sure many people have heard it. It's, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. There's something about giving, whether it's your time, your energy, or resources, because it doesn't always have to be dollars, that it just feels really deeply fulfilling. And it's like we're wired for kindness or something.
Yeah, that's so true. Like you mentioned, it's an impact that help us in our life, how we can show that because giving can boost energy, it can boost
Mhm.
happiness, reduce stress, and also improve our physical health. So it's really a win-win.
It really is. I love that. All right, so let's talk about some ways that people can give back this holiday season.
I think one of my favorite things is volunteering.
Yes.
Can be through local shelters, food banks, and community centers. And I can say that deeply reconnect with me because remember that I said on the first episode when I moved to Canada, I had to go for a period of time to give food in a food bank. And having people to be able to do that and you can see how you can help people, it really impacts many people and also the life and how they're living it. So that's always something that it could be happening. Also we can go to places and sort donations and organizing events because throughout this time especially there's so many donations that happen
Right.
that even if you use your time, it's always welcome.
Yeah, and I know where I live, and it's probably true for a lot of other people too, that for some reason there's a lot of fires and houses burn down this time of year. So donating where you can is absolute must, I think, almost. But
Yeah.
if you do it on time, donating is another powerful way to help. There's a lot of charities, nonprofits. They have holiday drives, toy drives, coats, and even monetary donations because every little bit helps. I know our church congregation does a lot of drives, especially this time of year. At the beginning of the school year, we do backpack drives, but this time of year, we do a lot of coat drives also for not just kids, for adults too.
Yeah, that's really good. And also, this is something that we wanted to emphasize that also it's good to reinforce also in organizations where we work. The HR department they can also promote these type of activities because as a social responsibility, the fact of giving back to the communities that they belong to, it's a really good way. I can tell, for example, in the organization that I work, collect toys, perishable food, donate for cancer causes. Also, we donate electronic equipments that we have in our house that we don't use, and we can
Oh,
provide to those companies, and they can provide to different people that really need them. And the
I
good
like that.
thing is that it's something that everyone is part of that donation. So it's really incredible and impactful.
Yeah, sorry if you can hear Nordy barking. He's lost in the living room. For those of you who don't know, he's blind and sometimes he doesn't know where he's at. So he's trying to get my attention. So I apologize if you can hear him bark. But
No,
yeah, I love
thank
that idea.
you.
I'd not heard about the electronic thing before. That's really cool. But another
Yeah.
way to give back is through your talent.
Yes.
So if you're a great cook, maybe you could bake for
Wow.
neighbors or community events. And if you're crafty, consider making handmade gifts or donations for nursing homes, hospitals. I know that my great nephew and his girlfriend make blankets. And I know
Oh,
a lot of
nice.
people that make, that knit and crochet, that do like little hats and things like that for newborns, especially preemies in the hospital.
Yeah, I love that. That sounds beautiful. My mother used to do that.
I don't have that kind of talent. I can
Yeah.
sew, but I don't have time.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Also, we cannot forget about virtual giving because it's important that sometimes you don't have the time or things happened, but also we can take advantage of the virtual giving. When you can go, there's many online platforms that you can use for donate for different causes. Your favorite one is the one that you think that it's more impactful related to your to any cause. So it could be, as an example, help a family lay away, pay
Oh,
for something that they have in need, or use any technology resources that you can help you to spread kindness. Because in reality, I think almost everything that we do today, I remember even when I'm going to buy online, they ask me if I wanted to round up to be able to
yes.
donate the cents. And it could be a few cents for us, but for the person that is receiving when they collect, and it makes a huge difference.
And if enough people do it, it's definitely going to make a
Yes,
huge difference. So those are such
exactly.
great ideas. I love it. And for those that are listening, remember it is not about how much you give, but it's about the heart behind it. You know, we always talk about that it's the thought behind the gift because small gestures can have a huge impact.
Yes, yes. So let's share a couple ideas of people to inspiring listeners. The church that I go to, they promote a lot of support in my country in Dominican Republic. So it's really close to heart, right? Every year, people go to the difficult areas around Punta Cana, Higüey, or Santo Domingo, and they go teenagers and family, and we help in donations such as helping give English classes. We help people in constructions on the things that they're doing for constructions. They also collect containers. Oh, there's so much stuff that people donate, computers, everything. They have to send containers over there to be able to help in this society. So that brings so much joy to the people that are receiving it because it is not just what we bring it, but also the time that we're providing. And the fact that you were able to do that with your kids, it's something that is really impactful. So I think I lost Yvonne. I don't know what happened. I hope everything is continuing very well over there. So I can continue giving some ideas that we were taking in consideration. Also, some ideas that I have in the organization, in other organizations that I also work for, uh, where I used to work in the past, is also to provide your time to go to the communities as well as I was saying the church to go in the communities and help like cleaning the sea or all the different things that you can do. That's like an organization thing. But things that you can do in your personal life is also that you can give back as an individual, like going to your church and doing those type of things that are exactly the meaningful things that we can do together. And also before we wrap up the episode, we would like to go to some specific point about goals and idea. One of the main things that is important is that we can provide that we can have like a goal for you to giving a giving goal. And the good thing about this is that you can volunteer once a month, for example, or setting aside a small budget that you can use for charity. And you can even have that automated, that they can take it from your account. Those are many things that we can do that will help us to continue growing in the process. So, and that's something that I really wanted to implement for 2025. I'm going to put that in my goals. It's to have a donation that we can use because that will help us to maintain that and make it a routine. So it's so important that we don't forget the impact that we're going to provide to to our community And if we can also journal and reflect on that experience, it's going to make a significant difference. Because sometimes when we donate, it's not just for us, but also that person also multiplied the same way. Just remember that 2 weeks ago, I went to a store and the person in front of me paid something that I was buying for Christmas, which it makes me feel so great. And then a few days later, I was able to do that for another person. So that's also an effect that we can cause on the people as soon as we transmit it, all these things. So the most important thing is that whether if it's our time, resources, or just kindness, that we can also continue doing that, not just for the season right now, but also that we can continue that generosity throughout the year, because that's something that could be life changing. So please, I'm sorry for, I think Yvonne can have some difficulties because she hasn't been able to go back. So I'm just going to give you some conclusion what we're considering for this episode. Just make sure that we continue donating and spreading the words. And we thought that this topic was very important for the end of the year, because that's something that we can do now in December. But also, as I said, if we can put a goal, we can continue implementing that on 2025, and we can create an impact and share to our community and to our family. And we can make this like a family event that can make it very fun. Sorry for the inconveniences, but we hope that we can provide you a little inspirations so we can implement it in the holidays. Now we're live at minute 21.
That was insane.
Sorry, but technology.
Yeah. Oh, well, it is what it is. It happens to professionals.
The fact is that we recently changed platform because we were looking for something that was going to be more reliable. And
It's not.
okay.
So where were we when my end went by? I think we were talking about, you had mentioned something about corporate, and I was going to tell you about what my sister and I do every year.
Yes.
Okay. So, if anybody's still listening, what my sister and I do every year is, I know a lot of people like do angel trees and things like that. Well, we adopt families. We each take 3 families. We don't know who they are when we do this. But we put something out. We have like a community help on Facebook for our community, and we choose families from there. But what we do is we buy an artificial Christmas tree, all the decorations, everything for a Christmas meal, turkeys, the whole 9 yards. And then every year, my sister and I also, my sister, her husband, and myself go in together, and we have a cow processed. We buy a cow and split it. And so then we add meat from the cow also, so they have extra meat. And we give all of that to a family about a week before Christmas, to 6 different families in our community. And I absolutely love it. It really changes people's lives. I mean, last year we had one, the woman came and she was absolutely sobbing. Her husband had gotten really sick, lost his job. They had 5 kids and couldn't do anything for them for Christmas. So it was pretty wonderful.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I even got headphones. That's a really nice experience. I'm going to provide that idea to some of the congregations that I belong to, because I think instead of it's go with that, you go more specific for someone that really needs them, and you prepare everything for them. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling. And I know that earlier you had talked about, and you can see Abigail in the back.
Yes.
She's lost. And for those of you who don't know, she has dementia. So she gets lost under the tree all the time and places like that. So yes, it's a very distracting evening, but welcome to live broadcasting. But there's something else that I had heard that I absolutely love. A teacher once asked her students to write down one thing that they wanted for Christmas and one thing that they needed. And she shared that list with a bunch of local businesses. And so this is a good way for local businesses to get involved. So the community came together and fulfilled every single wish that they had. And it was just a reminder that the collective effort can just really make a huge difference in people's lives and create some magic for them.
Yes, I like that too. I think there's, like you said at the beginning, there's some magic when you're giving back, because it's like you're removing the focus to you, and then you're removing the attention to you, and you're putting the attention with someone else. And
Yes.
that brings you so much joy and gratitude, because instead of focusing on what you're missing, you're focusing on the abundance that you have, that you're able to share with other people. So I think that's something that, like I was mentioning before we got our crash, that have a goal for 2025 or the different things, to have, like we set goal for other areas, also for donating or for any type of support, could be time or money or any type of things that we understand in a cause that relates, it's close to your heart, because
Mhm.
that also makes a difference, because you're supporting causes that are meaningful for you. It's going to bring you more joy. I think so.
I think one of the greatest things about being blessed ourselves is to be able to bless others. I just, what else are you going to do with it? I love the idea also of having a giving goal for each year, whether it's volunteering once a month or setting aside a
Yeah.
portion of your budget for charity or something like that. Having a plan just really makes it easier to stay consistent and stay on track, kind of like the goal setting thing that we talked about last week.
Yes. Yes. And also we can involve other people, because that also we can spread and create, like you said, you just don't go yourself, you go with your sister, with your brother-in-law, and
Yeah.
and you start building a group that help us with that.
Sorry,
No
trying to
worries.
trying to keep her out a little bit because she's kind of having an issue there.
No worries. That those were kind of the things that we wanted to cover today, just to make sure, like after computer came out, from anyone would say, okay, let's go back, because the show
Yes,
must continue. And it's part of the
absolutely.
process, it's part of the changes in adaptability. That is some of the things that we wanted to show with this podcast. That it's we have to focus on continue doing the things. And sometimes the things not necessarily go well, but we need to adjust and be able to continue the process. So that's exactly what we're doing today. And we wanted to
Yep,
encourage our community, the people around us, to be able to start. If some people, a lot of people does it, but reinforce it and try to contaminate in a good way, to be able to do those type of things, to make it more impactful, because one person don't change, but if that person impact another person, then we continue and we can make a compound effect.
exactly. And for anybody who's listening still, God bless you. But I would also love to hear from you. What are your favorite ways to give back to the holiday? And we would love, like always, for you to share your stories with us on social media, tag us so that we can share it with other people. And who knows, we might even share some of those ideas on upcoming episodes.
Yes, that would be fantastic. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Find us everywhere, hashtag FindYourWisePodcast, and join our Facebook group, where we can provide more information and more details that can be helpful. And we see you next week in our next episode.
Yes, we will be here next week. Well, just in case anybody needs somebody to, watch. Whoops.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much. Have a great one. Bye bye.
bye.